Well, chat. Good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning. It's Monday. It's Monday, baby. I'm trying to keep it a little quiet. A little quiet. I'm not very good at being quiet. Because we have some guests here, so and they've been staying up late. So we're gonna be a little quiet today, if that's okay. If that's okay, I can whisper in your sweet little ears. How are you doing, my baby ghouls? Anyway, coming into No Surrender on full blast. Goddamn right. Listen, it's one of my favorite gym songs, okay? It's straight up headbanging joy. Loud noises! I'm making pulled pork tacos for dinner. Ooh, what are you putting in them? What are you putting in them? That was, we made carnitas like over the weekend. And we put a cinnamon stick in it, thinking it would be like really good. But now anytime you heat up the carnitas, the entire fucking kitchen smells like cinnamon. It smells like you made like cinnamon toast instead of carnitas. We talked about last week. No, you'll have to pay me for that one. That's for the goals. We'll do that probably when we do the 12-hour stream over at FaZe. It'll be a goal. If we do hit within the 12 hours, the like 2K that we need, I will do an ASMR stream the following week. Maybe the week of? Because that's the 28th. So absolute win. Well, you gotta hit the goals first. I don't get to pick. Gym and game noises. Oh yeah. But how was y'all's weekend? What trouble did y'all get into? What shenanigans have you been up to? Did you burn anything down, Ordain? Belarusian helicopter takes down Russian drone heading to Ukraine. Anyway. Pulled pork? Wait, why did you wait? Are you pulling your pork? Is that what I'm hearing? Pickled veggies with red cabbage. Sriracha crema. That sounds pretty good. On soft flour tortillas. Are they homemade flour tortillas? Are they like local flour tortillas? Or did you get like, what is it? Mission? That's the paste of tortillas. Like paste is the mission of salsa. Hi, Bugra. Welcome in. How are you doing? Also, Ordain, I didn't thank you. Thank you for the 8 months total. I always get confused when I read the activity feed because it says resubscribe for 6 months at tier 1. They've been subscribed for 8 months. Wait, did you do a multi-month sub? Is that why it says that? Hold on. Where is it? No, okay, it just says for 8 months in chat. So I think it's just the continued one. My weekend was rough. PC troubles once. What happened to your PC? What's the problem? What's the deal? Tell me, and I may be able to help you like prevent it in the future. Or Dane, you better not be making new numbers now. Oh shit. All my subs are for 6 months. Okay, that makes sense. Do you always get them? So that's the 6 months in July. So that was for, no, there wasn't. Was there? Was there like a sub discount for like prolonged subs back in like January, February-ish? I don't remember if there was. I really don't. Because usually it's September. September's the one that I remember. September's like September shenanigans is the one that I think of. But ooh, I was trying to see if there was anything interesting going on. I didn't get to see any news today when I went to the gym because I got to the gym and shockingly at 9 a.m. it was so fucking packed that I didn't get to do cardio. I skipped my usual like cardio warm up. That I have 6 subs running and I pay every month an other sub. Oh, okay, interesting. It tends to hang, then screen cuts to black for a random amount of time. It happens during my first PC stream and caused my OBS to crash. Okay, if your OBS is crashing and your screen is going black, it's definitely a GPU issue. It's definitely your GPU. Have you updated your GPU recently? No cardio chat, you know what to do. No. Also, Rivet and Low, thank you for both of you with the 15 stream streak. Holy shit. Through recommended. And shall say, well, thank you, Gutter. Welcome in. Also, Bugra, thank you for the follow. Thank you both. Welcome in. We're going to be playing crime scene cleaner later. I don't think we're going to be able to finish it to heart rate monitor. Okay, Grins, you're going to have to explain the heart rate monitor for me to be able to put it on. Haven't changed anything. I only bought it in October of last year. So you may want to check the warranties both on the part. Wait, did you buy the PC pre-built? I think we talked about this. Didn't you buy the PC pre-built? Because of cardio? I don't know what to do. Listen, that's what I was going to say. Can we refund Grins mods? Is that possible? Because there's no reason to do it. We're not doing anything spooky for like the next hour. By the time we make it to the game, this game's really more relaxing than anything. It's just that it has like a grim theme. So that you're not really going to get anything out of the heart rate monitor. I was doing it for the meme, it's fine.
Making the mother of all omelets here, Jack. Can't spread over every egg.
Are you proud of yourself? Are you proud of yourself, Ordain? Do you feel better? Did you let that out? Shock. Shock, I say. Well, not that shocked. Hold on a second. Okay. Oakley dokley. Launcher date out of comedically large cannon. Huh? I love doing it. I know you're so proud of yourself, aren't you? So proud. So proud. Comedically, what would you describe as a comedic, like a circus cannon? Like one of those like circus cannon. Like the really short barreled ones that like shoot people out of, or like the really long, goofy looking ones that are like on the back of trucks and shit. Is it circus cannon time? I never made a character that was a cannonball. Now that I think about it, I made a whole bunch of cast characters for like the eventual story and stuff, but I just realized I'd never made like a human cannonball one. Yes, preferably ones that fit 3 foot 2 people inside. Turns you into a grape, a single grape. Pepperidge Farm remembers. I remember. Do you remember? Where's there carnival lore characters? I don't have any money for commissions, you guys. No, now they need surgery. And the thing is, like, I've never had a point where I've been like, oh, I have extra money. Why don't we like make up a bunch of the extra characters or spend money for all these extra characters? And it's just, it kind of sucks. It just sucks that I haven't had the budget for it. I have them all still written down on a notepad document, like full descriptions. I could find some reference. Actually, I've saved references over the years since we started, since I first made these characters. And they're part of like a Pinterest board that I have. Do we have definitive lore characters? Yeah. I've just never really shared them because I could describe them all I want, but a lot of people still can't like picture what I'm trying to get across. Fuck it, we're all just creatures mirrors. The clown chandelier? This is why we can't have nice things. Join the carnival. Cursed money. It's always money, baby. Unfortunately, money doesn't buy happiness, but money buys the things that bring happiness. And it's one of those things, though, anytime we do end up having the money, I'm already working towards like the next step of like all of this. So it's a little difficult, like more often than not. Here, we need glasses. We're having chatting time, so it's glasses time. Money buys antidepressants. Well, I'm not on antidepressants. Although I did have to go buy my my like monthly prescription today, and it's $91 now. It's slightly more. It's less than $1 more. Which, yay, but I'm still pissed that it went from $20 to $90. Actually, that reminds me, did I ever put it back on Throne? No, I didn't. I never added it back to Throne. Also, I'm not logged into Throne for some reason. Let's eat the rich, take their money. No! Actually, yes. Absolutely. Abso-fucking-lutely. I wish there was an easy way to add back, like, old ones, but instead I have to, like, remake this every time. All right, where's my brain? There it is. Brain helpies. Up. Okay. Allow crowdfunding. Oh, yes, proceed. Okay. That's back on the wish list. Eating the rich will give you indigestion. That's true. Because I think it was Axio. Axio paid for the prescription. Like, I can actually check. Where is it? It was like 3 weeks ago. Date June 27th. Okay, just over 2 weeks ago. Am I the only one that's using my rich powers for good though? Like instead of making a new car, launching a new social media app, I would give money to Baron. Like that would be actual good thing. I was gonna say, like, if I had as much money as Bezos, Bill Gates, Elon Musk, like, I don't think I could imagine if I had more than $1 million a year. That's more money than I can imagine spending. If I was making $1 million a year, I could effectively just travel the fucking world for shits and giggles and not care. And like probably not like want for anything to make a failing VR platform. Oh boy, wait, what was that? What was that called? Was it Metaverse? Right? That's what it was called. It was Metaverse, right? The like really shitty like virtual conference app that Zuckerberg wanted to make. And it was basically just like VR chat, but it was 15 years in the past. Happy birthday. It's not my birthday. It's almost my birthday. My birthday is the 22nd. So tomorrow it'll be a week till my birthday. Yeah, I know Metaverse. I know Metaverse was Zuckerberg because he's the CEO of Meta. Still, fucking why did we end up with like, I remember in the past it's like we're gonna have all these like big techie geniuses and we're gonna be advancing so fast and get all these cool mechanics, but then these quote big techie geniuses are a bunch of fucking losers. Just a week away. Oh boy, just a week away. Just a week away. God damn it. God damn it. Hold on. I need to double check a thing really quick. Okay, it's payout. I remember my birthday was coming up and I just looked and I realized I have like a mattress cost on here. And I was like, wait, did I set that? Is that like ordered directly? Hi, Faye. Hi, Faye. How are you doing? Purple octopus spotted. Give the love to the octopus. Tackle her, chat. Get her, get her, get her, get her. Yeah, I've got a lot of shenanigans on Throne, including the MetaQuest 3. Unfortunately, the MetaQuest 3 is the best VR headset on the market, which I hate. Luckily, though, it can also bypass like the Quest requirements, because fuck that. Fuck that. But yeah, it's the most affordable and the significantly better wireless headset that's been on Throne for a while. As well as a camera, a mirrorless Sony camera that I've had saved for a while to use for eventual IRL streams. Only because people bought it for Metaverse. Wait, what? What are you saying? People were buying the MetaQuest for Metaverse? I don't think it ever, hold on. I don't think Metaverse ever made it out of, is there a wiki page so we can see like the timeline of Metaverse? God, that looks horrendous. Technology, hardware, software, history and implementation. Okay. Where is it? 2021, Meta made a loss of $10 billion on its metaverse development department, with Mark Zuckerberg saying he expected operating losses to increase meaningfully in 2022. In February 2023, Zuckerberg wrote a Facebook post announcing the company's pivot away from the metaverse to focus on AI. Some metaverse implementations rely on digital currencies, often cryptocurrency. Assets within the metaverse is sometimes traded as non-fungible tokens, of course, NFTs, and track ownership using blockchain technology because you're a fucking chud, dude. Chud shenanigans. It's the circle. Is that sung? Time to go work for the mob boss? Damn right, boss. Welcome in. Welcome in, my fellow goon. More like Mark suck a turd. Okay, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Okay. No, I think it's boss. I'm pretty sure. Oh no, that did work. Okay, does boss still work? Why doesn't boss work anymore? Wasn't boss the last one that worked? Oh, son of a bitch, dude. Son of a bitch. Back to 7TV. Back to 7TV. Okay, at least I remember pretty much how to get there. Active emotes. Goon. Uploaded emotes. That'd be easier because I'm pretty sure, I was the one that uploaded it. More. Edit. Do I need... I'm trying to remember how to do... Also, it's so funny how there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's 10 people that use this app, changing it from boss to goon because they forgot it was boss and are now changing it back. I mean, I don't want y'all to constantly have to like say goon to do that thing. So I'd much rather it just be like whenever you say like yes boss or anything, it drops it. But I guess I need to change the name for that. I could have swore there was one where you could change emote name. Emote name again. I could have swore there was an option to like, what's merge? Merge? Okay, that doesn't do anything, it seems. Remove for a second. Add back. Okay, no, that didn't do anything. Zigzagoon? What? Oh, the Pokemon. Gotcha. You just spelled it funny. This is the circle Baron goes round. Yeah, it's me just constantly repeating. Okay. Renamed proper goon to goon. That was 7 months ago. Baron go goon. Oh my god, it's happening, chat. She's going shut up. Shut up. It's fine. It's fine. But I think I'm just gonna have to end up leaving it like this. Actually, no, I'll just change the whole name to boss. We'll just change the whole name to boss. Hold on. Okay. And I'm gonna add the tag yes boss to it. And leave it with the goon tag. Okay. Okay, capital B boss should be the proper thing now. And I can see it there. It probably will take like a little bit to update because it usually does, especially with like the interface with like, because this is technically Stream Elements, this chat's Stream Elements. I know, I tried to get away from it, but the artist that I commissioned for the custom chat made it specifically for Stream Elements. So, But let me see here real quick. What is that? Oh, it's Vanny. It's Vanny Spin. It's Vanny Spin. But I don't really have any topics to talk about today, chat. I usually try to bring in more prepared stuff-ish. To be a little more prepared, but there's not much in terms of news, I guess. Yeah, there's like apparently press was kicked out of the meeting with the NATO secretary like an hour or two ago. So that's interesting. But what about butt? That is wait, no, those are thighs. Those are Tanya's thighs. A Murder Monday. Hi, I am. How are you doing? Just got a sping. Change name trigger thingy itself in your added emotes. Oh, okay, I got you. Thank you. I'm sorry, Sunstar. So let me do back here. Active emotes. The The thing is there's no... I'm gonna have to like scroll. So I think these are hopefully... Okay, there it is. Go here. Well, that just took me to the same page. Okay, if I go down to the bottom again, go here. There's like a little pin. No, that takes me to the same page. Did they get rid of that feature? I'm starting to think they may have gotten rid of that feature. That is one hell of an emote. I am going to see what channel that is. Because now you have my curiosity. Because I can't tell the art. Have I seen this person before? I don't think so. Twitter page. This account doesn't exist. Well, the name on that Twitter account is much older. Or, well, not the name that's the Twitch page. So that's interesting. Weird. Weird. But... And you're at it. That's sort of an at, but... I can't find it. I sent it media Insta clip in media. But let me see. Media share. Lies drama in the Blizzard connection. Self-proclaimed. Oh boy. Okay, hold on. Let me. Yeah, should be. Yeah, okay. It opened in the right browser. I don't talk about working at Blizzard, sir. Every other stream you say, I worked at Blizzard for 7 years. How many years do you think, Pirate Software worked at? Self-proclaimed first, second generation Blizzard employee swears he never talks about working at Blizzard except, well, he does. On stream repeatedly, and we've got clips to prove it. From the heartbound lies to the furry secrets, from his hidden wife, okay, that's something I hadn't heard of, to sketchy code reviews and bizarre WoW flexes. Is there any part of this guy's story that isn't full of contradictions? I also forget all the time that there's accusations that he almost certainly uses a voice filter on stream. Because anytime he's made like a public appearance and used a not his mic, he sounds very different. He worked at Blizzard? Pirate Software worked at Blizzard? Why didn't anybody tell me that? First, second generation, aka first Nepo. Yes, correct. He's even called himself a Nepo baby at least once, but then every other time he claims that he's not a Nepo baby, which is insane. He also tries to like play up what he did at Blizzard. He says he tries to say that he was like a game dev or like worked in like the IT department. He was a game tester. It just in case anybody didn't know that, he was a game tester. He's one of the nerds that they bring in when they have like a version of the next expansion or the newest Blizzard game, and they want people to play it to find problems with it. I don't even know what that means. Which part? Which part? Which part don't you understand, Ordain? Is it the word Nepo baby? Napo? Nepo. Nepo. Got me my job. Because my dad got me my job and he was the senior art director at Blizzard Entertainment. Doesn't mean I'm a Nepo baby. Meh. You're just running against the walls. I wouldn't doubt it. I would not doubt it. All right, guys, we're going to check this wall in this dungeon we're going to release next patch. So can you like run into every surface to make sure we made it solid? Thank you for the self-care. The self-care is brought to you by GamerSupps. Nerds! The taste of acid rain. All right. I forget, do we have a GamerSupps command? Is it GamerSupps? Sups? I could have swore I made a command. I know we have a timer. Is it GG? Nope, that's not it. I don't think we have a command. I think it's only a timer. I think it's only a timer thing that goes off like Oh, hi, Green Man's there, still there. Okay, oh no. Oh no, I see commands in there that I know some people are gonna Xbox game? Okay, I don't understand that. That's weird, but okay. All right, hold on. Let me see if I can still fix this this emote problem. Because when I click it, it takes me to the same panel. Add to here. And confirm. Okay, I don't know if I can add like multiple instances of the same emote. Let me see. Let me go check. It's time to check. Active, go back all the way down to the bottom because I gotta scroll. Oh my god, I forgot we had the quota emote. Quota? Nope, it's only there once. Although we also have a B movie. B movie, the entirety of the B movie in GIF form. Oh wait, this is another great one that I completely forgot we added. Johnny. It's fucking Johnny Silverhand, dude. It's fucking Johnny Silverhand. Wait, I don't remember some of these. Me and y'all. What the fuck? Of course, boba. I refuse. Arson. No arson here. Of course, there's also ads, which I think is funny to this day. Oh, okay. Who's a fan of Joel? Who remembers Joel? What about Let Him Joel? Oh, I misspelled that one. Joling. I got a Joel. I got a Joel, baby. Joel, the Windows XP is crashing. Ah, yes. Ah, yes. There's also the creative use of etc. Oh, wait, that didn't work. Why didn't that work? Do I have a period in that etc. one? No, I don't. Why didn't that? Oh, is it unlisted? Why is it unlisted? Personal use denied? Okay, reconfirm then. Can I refresh that? There's 12,000 people that have this emote. What do you mean? I'm so confused. I'm so confused. Why aren't you working? People explosion then. Peepo explosion. Because etc. is unlisted. Yeah, I guess they took it down or something. Weird. Very, very, very weird. But trying to see what others we have. Of course, we have the plethora of just like the cutie little Peepo ones. Would talk about the Merry Go Bigger emote. Is that such an... Oh, it is unlisted activity. Removed flag private. Okay. How do can I submit it again? What's the deal? What's the issue with it? I don't know how to fix the unlisted problem. No. I remember we talked about that. But the thing is, I don't know fucking why. I don't know how to like fix that or do anything about it, nor do I. Raggle fraggle. Hold on, what other nonsense do we have? Oh, right, the the go live. Go live. Go live now, Madge. Go live now, Madge. There's the Vibe E party. Look at him go. Look at him go. That's chat. That's chat just vibing to the music. Just having a good time, you know? Just hanging out. Hanging out, having a good time. But a lot of cats. Cat shitting very comfortable. Cat shitting very comfortable. All right. Looking sussy. Oh my god. Christopher. Oh yeah, Christopher. Hi, Christopher. I also like a first time chatter. That's probably one of my favorite ones. There is, of course, Jimgers and Strongers. Yeah, Jimgers and Strongers. Chat, cover her in love and appreciation. Forehead kisses too while you're at it. But listen, it's fine. Tomorrow night, I'm gonna grab Fagin Sai by the throat and we're gonna marathon Lord of Mysteries. You will be indoctrinated. You will understand the Lord of Mysteries. I also see last time chatter with first message banned. Wait, that's great. Wait a second. Okay. A forehead smooch is my one weakness. She just melts into the floor. Oh boy, anime propaganda. More like what's the just bully you until you like it. And then we're gonna watch it every week. We're gonna watch a new episode every week. Every single week. So help me God. Hold on, wait. Wait. There we go. So help me. We're watching every new episode every week. It comes out on Mondays. Today. But I have things on Monday nights, so we're doing Tuesday nights. Tuesday nights. I said, okay, damn. Listen. Had to get the point across. Nope. Okay. Oh my god. Sorry, somebody I followed. Jesus, Peter Christ. I'm gonna copy this and I'm gonna go put it in Discord, I guess. Put gaming general. All right, because Jesus. And then let me. There's somewhere else I need to post this. Okay. Okay, I put it in Discord. I ain't there. Ordained! How could you? What do you mean you aren't there? Ordained, you need to go watch Lord of Mysteries. I want to talk to you about Lord of Mysteries. Ooh. Uh-oh. Wait, this is so goofy. Finishing Resident Evil 8 DLC today and then jumping into 1 through 4 marathon? Huh? Okay, I suppose. That's a plan. But, all right, I'm looking to see if, I haven't played Monster Hunter since Lagiacrus came out. I kind of want to. But I'm looking for other things. Ordain, are you doing diabolical things over there? Oh, good Lord. Okay, hold on. What is this? What is this? Why can't I scroll up? Why is... I was trying to figure out why Department of Defense was trending 27 minutes ago. What is pop based? 2.1 million followers. Source for pop culture related entertainment. Okay, I guess this is important enough that they feel like they had to make a post on it. U.S. Department of Defense will start using Grok XAI claims. Are we about to propaganda our own Department of Defense? The Department of Defense will now officially begin using Grok, the company announced. The department has awarded a contract to Musk Company with a ceiling of $200 million. Just last week, Grok referred to itself as Mecha Hitler. What could go wrong with incorporating into the Department of Defense work an AI that fucking Elon Musk himself has described as essentially he constantly has to wrangle to get it to say and do things that he wants. This is not he has not let this AI grow up impartial. He has purposely manhandled it and let all sorts of crowds fucking just strangle it into whatever ideology he's fine with. The AI, yes, that declared itself Mecha Hitler last week. Yep. John Connor watching the Department of Defense adopt AI into their program. Oh no. Fucking insanity, dude. Fucking insanity. Grok for government initiative? It's useless. It's fucking useless. I cannot imagine. Oh, I hate it. Oh, I hate it. I hate everything about this. That's mostly what all of these posts are. It's people just talking about. The U.S. Department of Defense will stop transmitting microwave satellite data for hurricane forecasts by June 30th, 2025. Catching forecasters off guard. Experts warn the move will reduce forecast accuracy, risking delayed warnings and public safety during peak hurricane season. Damn chat. Damn chat. Are you ready? Are you ready to have a hurricane season where we don't even know when hurricanes are coming until they're like right offshore? I'm sure that's going to go great. I'm sure that's going to be totally fine. What is this? That's the official Department of Defense Twitter page? No. Hold on. Hold on. 6.6 million followers? Ew. Who follows the Department of Defense like that? Mrs. International Bound? Oh. The contestant from the US for Miss International is an Air Force captain. Oh. I'd rather not. So they were posting. Okay, I guess. Oh God, they reposted a video of the Secretary of Defense at a Turning Point USA press conference. Oh no, wait. They did it 3 times? 3 different times? Is that AI? No, okay, I think that's actually a congressman or something. At the DoD, we're back to basics, to the Constitution. We don't do politics. We do war fighting on behalf of the American people to keep everybody safe. Sure. Sure. We've also sent the message to the world through what President Trump has done in Europe and through NATO that the era of freeloading off America is over. So you're going to stop funding Israel? Is that what we're looking at? Is that what's going to happen? Is that what he's saying? So now they got the Gestapo and Mecha Hitler? Oh no. Oh no. Oh my God. Can somebody draw that as a comic? I kind of want to see somebody make like it. I could picture it as like one of those like over the top like manga pages, and it's literally just it's Mecha Hitler and like Gestapo uniform, but it has ice across it. Yikes, dude! Of course not. It isn't in Europe. It wouldn't be freeloading. It's an active resource to the United States military. Ugh. Oh, here's the third post of him at Turning Point USA that was reposted by the Department of Defense. We are supporting ICE agents in Los Angeles and elsewhere, ensuring they're safe in their duty. ICE should have the ability to do its job in any city in America without being attacked. They're being attacked. Their partners at the Department of Defense are proud to stand alongside them to secure them their facilities or their agents in the execution of lawful law enforcement. Lawful my fucking ass, dude. Unleashing U.S. military drone dominance. The drones in this video are like little ones that you buy at Best Buy, dude. None of these drones are impressive. And for some reason, there's one of them that's just like hovering over his shoulder with a piece of paper. I thought it was like a lanyard and tags or something, but it's flapping in the wind like it's literally just a piece of paper. And the pilot is definitely struggling at keeping the drone at a constant pace. He keeps like jerking forward and jerking backwards, trying to follow Pete. ICE can't keep racially profiling people. Who wants to bet ICE ain't gonna stop whatsoever in response? I guarantee you they won't. I promise you they won't. They've already essentially been given the right to come into people's houses without any sort of probable cause. At the rate that the laws that they want are going, they are essentially going to make it so that even silence is enough probable cause for them to kick in your door. If you do not respond, do not say anything, doesn't matter if you're not home, doesn't matter if you're like hiding from them for whatever reason or don't want to interact with them for whatever reason, silence could just become the reason that they kick in your door. You're hiding people! Click. Blicky Blinks, thank you for the follow. Welcome in. How are you doing? Angie Tangerine owned base is burning their caps. Glory be to the bun. Were we talking about hamburger buns? Because that's Happy's Humble Burger Farm. Happy Humble Burger Farm. Did you say that ICE can't keep... that they didn't... Still couldn't due to not having a judicial warrant? Or did I miss some new bullshit? Hiding under the floorboards? Basically some shit. Hi, Pippin. How are you doing? But yeah, it doesn't look like there's... Okay, these are a lot of reposts of them reposting like Texas Military Department and Texas National Guard posts. NFL rookie Ryan Lane visits Pentagon, meets Defense Secretary. What? Who the fuck cares? Why? Why is the football rookie visiting the fucking Pentagon, dude? I'm great so far. I'm relatively new to Twitch. It's been pretty cool so far. Glad to be here. Hell yeah, Blicky. Well, welcome to Twitch.tv. You have entered a potential hellscape. I just mean in general, not specifically here. Still couldn't enter people's homes without permission due to not getting judicial warrants, I meant. No. They've already been doing that. If they're not doing it to people's homes, they've already done it to businesses. And they have been trying to pass laws. The federal government has been trying to pass laws and like, what's it called? I'm forgetting the word. Executive orders, I think is the word I was looking for. And the essential gist of it was, if you haven't been seeing like the news articles, the executive orders, the things that are coming out, most of them are getting blocked But most of them are getting, quote, blocked by like federal courts. But the thing is, the federal government is getting pissed off at this and is constantly arguing right now to essentially make it so that federal courts can't block an executive function of any kind. They've been trying to petition it because they're like, they should be able to tell the president what to do, even though that's literally the checks and balance system. But, you know, they don't care. They want those things to pass through without being stopped. And it's already been proven that ICE and the federal National Guard that's there in like LA and stuff are essentially ignoring the fact that there are like, I'm trying to remember the word. It starts with an M, moratoriums. I can't remember the word for it. There's pauses on like these cases going into law, but they're still practicing as if they have already come into law. So they're still doing the shit. Checks and balances? No, the president should be able to do what he wants. Saying the fact that they just want a monarchy. They've already stopped state courts from blocking. Yes, I believe one actually passed now that instead of like being able to block like whole districts, it now has to be done at the state level. That's with, I think it was the like attempt at minor like gender affirmation care. Right now, the only state that has like basically been able to keep that availability open is Ohio. I know, right? I'm just as surprised. But Ohio has basically already like put it into their like state court and Supreme Court that it's currently being argued that those the things that they call for like not being able to get meds, not being able to get any sort of like typical stuff that they would be able to get to prevent like things like precocious puberty and stuff. Memorandums? Okay, I think memorandums was what I was thinking of. Not sure. Not 100% sure on that. No. That states can do it. It's the thing though. It's not circuits. You can't do like full federal circuits that would cover like large swaths of the United States. They pushed it down and were like, no, states have to decide this at an independent like moment. The state Supreme Courts are the ones that decide, not the federal circuit courts, is what I remember. But that was 2 weeks ago. With the way things are going, I honestly would not doubt if it's changed. I didn't get to see Kono's recent stream. I think Kono was talking about something similar of like all the stuff that was being passed in the last like week or two. Enzo, thank you for the follow. Welcome in. How are you doing? What trouble are you getting into? What shenanigans are you up to? Oh. I'm trying to see if... God, it's always funny whenever you can tell one of the big VTubers is like on Twitter, because they always just repost so much of the art. It's fucking like right now I do follow Doki Bird. So like it's always funny to see just like 6 or 7 like art pieces of Doki Bird in a row because she reposted them. I get the same thing with like Crony. If anybody watches like Oro Crony, she does the same shit. Man who throws clocks watches time fly. Oh my god, what's Saku? Why do you keep coming in here with like Confucius ass sayings or Confucius ass jokes? Oh no. Hold on. Chat. Annie uploaded a clip of Tucker Carlson at a Turning Point USA thing, and it's marked heartbreaking. The worst person you know just made a great point. Chat, we're gonna watch this. We're gonna watch this. Let me get the screen. All right. Hi, Enzo. Let me make sure I get the capture. This one? Okay. Yeah, it's based. The thing that's annoying is this is how it's gonna have to look like, because it's like, I think it's meant for phone, but he's uploaded it. This is so goofy. Yeah, that's TikTok. Okay. All right, Nickelback, quiet time.
basic economics really matter. And they matter because, not that it's bad that rich people are getting richer, it's bad that everyone else is getting poorer. And it's especially bad that young people can't afford homes. Let me just put a very precise point on this.
Holy shit. Holy shit, he's on a roll. Holy shit. The Swanson heir is on a roll and has become self-aware.
If you want a measure of how your economy is doing.
Hold on. Has he gone full conservative circle and now actually cares? He actually cares about poor people?
I personally favor eliminating GDP as a measure. I don't even know what that is. It's clearly not relevant. They tell me Japan has a stagnant GDP. Have you been to Tokyo? It's some of the most radicalizing experience you'll ever have because it's just so nice.
I love the idea that fucking Tucker Carlson got radicalized by going to Tokyo. That's fucking hilarious, dude. You can't hear it? Oh, here. I'll turn it up. I'll turn it up a bit more.
You lost the war? Really? Can we lose a war and wind up like this? GDP. No. I don't know what even that is. The total economic activity. Oh, no. My
horseshoe theory coming in clutch. Political horseshoe theory.
With full-time jobs at like 27, 28. And the answer is no way. And the answer is that
I wouldn't doubt it, Watsuku.
Really good jobs can't afford a house unless they stretch and go deep into debt. And I just think that's a total disaster. That's a complete disaster. Why?
It's crazy. What the fuck?
One, if people don't own things, they don't feel ownership of the country they're in. And the country gets super volatile.
Okay.
Because people feel like they've got nothing to lose. When you have a lawn, trust me, you're thinking long term.
When you have a lawn?
It's really hard to have a family without a house. It is. It's like super fun to live in an apartment if, there's like a bar downstairs, you're in a cool neighborhood. I'm in East Village. It's so cool. Try to have 3 kids. You're not going to have 3 kids. There you can't.
You're not going to have 3 kids in an apartment. I guarantee it.
Nobody wants to raise their kids in an apartment. People do it because they have to. Nobody wants to.
With a working one? I don't know. Hold on.
Some McMansion.
Oh, hell yeah, Arding.
That is the actual American dream. And that is what is totally unattainable for young people.
I'm blown away.
Only young people
I'm fucking blown away. Hold on. I'm just letting him go.
Are young people whose parents helped them. And God bless their parents. That's a perfectly great thing to do.
Happy
for
birthday,
your kids.
Gonzo.
But most people's parents can't afford.
You having a good birthday? Have you eaten something delicious? Had a good drink?
So that is a national emergency. And I know that there are certain cable channels.
Your rent could buy a house. Otherwise, this is just like correct. True.
Obviously, I'm opposed to it. He's not even a real socialist. He's like a trainee vax, rich kid liberal guy. Mom Donnie.
No, okay, we lost him.
But whatever.
We lost him.
Why do you think that's happening? One of the reasons it's happening is because normal people with normal jobs no longer believe they can win in this system. And
no, wait, he's back on track. He's back on track. We're good. We're good.
And
okay.
No one even stops to ask what the hell is going on.
No, he kind of nailed it. Hold on. I want to hear that last part again.
Why do you think that's happening?
Further back.
To it. He's not even a real socialist. He has a college degree. And I know that there are certain cable channels that are spending all this time talking about, they're about to elect a socialist in New York City, which obviously I'm opposed to it. He's not even a real socialist. He's like a trainee vax, rich kid liberal guy.
Okay.
Money. He's a fake leftist, but whatever. Why do you think that's happening? One of the reasons it's happening. I think it's because
Tucker Carlson's idea of the leftist is a liberal and
normal jobs no longer believe they can win in this system. And that all the money is going to the worst people. And no one even stops to ask what the hell is going on.
He kind of got it. There was it was a little shaky with the Mamdani part, but Jesus, dude. I think he's actually calling him a liberal. I think that's what he is calling him. Maybe it's something in there. He's pushing Mamdani around on the scale. In this talk, but that's fucking crazy, dude. That's nuts. What the fuck? All right, let me bring the music back. Gotta make sure I turn it down to my ears too. Okay. Also, maybe pointing out the media frenzy over the guy. I mean, it's because I wouldn't say he came out of nowhere. He wasn't expected to win in any way. I'm gonna let that one slide for the funnies. For the funnies. Hold on. I have to tell Annie the thing that I thought of. It's funny. Hold on. It's hilarious to think Tucker Carlson changed as a person after a single visit to Tokyo. Hold on. I want to know because this is probably like public knowledge in some way. When did Tucker Carlson go to Tokyo? I don't want to click that. That's his YouTube page. 1 year ago. Checks out Bullet Train on his way from Tokyo to Kyoto, 2019. Okay, he's been multiple times. Yeah, like 2019 was when he went. Yeah, it looks like most of these are from, like, a lot of these pictures and like short videos are from 2019. So he went a while ago. I was gonna look and see if it was like a if it was something old. If it was like recent, if we're gonna find out that like 6 months ago or something, he went to Tokyo and had a complete change of heart. Bit hilarious. Would have been hilarious. Wait, what the? Wait, what the fuck is this? Why are they reposting this? I'm confused. I don't get why somebody reposted that. Anyway, oh shit. Oh shit, it wasn't fast enough. All right, hold on, kids. Oh, I clicked the wrong button. Oh shit. Jacket. Give me my glasses back. Okay. And then I need words on stream. That's not words on stream. I opened Wheel of Punishment for some reason. Loading. Words. I have friends that live in Japan. Their economy is in the toilet. They struggle to afford basic necessities and save right now. He visits Japan from the perspective of someone that has a lot of money and sees the result of a culture that values cleanliness, puts responsibility of that on the people instead of janitors. Correct. And functioning urban development. You have to spin it? No. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. No way in hell. But, okay. I'm not going to go anywhere. So we'll just write out the commercial break with some words. Oh. Subfeeds are coming to the clips feed? What? Can now explore a more tailored feed by choosing categories at the top of the clip. Oh, okay. Categories is in like games and stuff. Do people actually scroll the like clip section? Who's in Japan right now? Probably not. We do have a couple viewers that are like various people that have like moved to Japan. Let me see, is it Kami lurking? No, I think Kami's in bed. I'm pretty sure Kami's in bed. But I don't know, do people 2 years ago ranting about revolutionary it is that you pay 25 cents for a shopping cart at Aldi's and get it back when you return? Bro's doing the Arrested Development banana meme IRL. How much could a banana cost? $10? Wait. Oh, was there a fucking VR chat scene in fucking the trailer for the Wonderful Weird World of Gumball? Oh no. I'm trying to see if there's anything else interesting to talk about, but I think we're just gonna go right into crime scene cleaner. I'm taking more knives. No, I just replaced those. What the fuck, dude? What the fuck? Okay. Americans say Europe doesn't have any freedoms. The next day, throw someone in jail for 40 years for not liking the president. Oh my God, did that happen? Wait a second. What? The funny thing is, there's two things currently trending on the side of the page I'm looking at. Okay, that's already ended. Oh, I don't know why I went there. Okay. Put you back. Bring back full chats. Melania is currently trending on the side of my page, and hashtag Trump pedophiles. Not spelled like the full word pedophile, but pedo, and then the word files. Do we want to bet it's people claiming that they're hiding? Yeah, this is gonna be people being mad about like the Epstein, claiming the Epstein files had no client list. I'm trying to see why she's trending, but it looks like every post is something different and people are just talking about random things involving Melania. But okay. Let's see what this hashtag is. Doesn't want anyone talking about it anymore. Okay, it's the video of him meeting Epstein and like shaking hands and talking to each other in the ear. Russian interference in 2016 U.S. elections. All the pictures of Trump with Epstein. Nikolai Patrushev, part of the Russian president's inner circle, former secretary of the Security Council, told the Russian newspaper Kommersant that Trump was duty-bound to act on his words. Patrushev said to achieve success in the elections, Donald Trump relied on certain forces to which he has corresponding obligations, and as a responsible person, he was obliged to fulfill them. Ugh. And then Nikita Khrushchev, January 18th, 1956. We will take America without firing a shot. We do not have to invade the U.S. We will destroy them from within. Oh, boy. Forget about Melania coin. I don't think I could... Oh. Coco is lonely. What? What? How could you? That's my baby. That's my baby. My puppo's name is Coco. But trying to, yeah, this is all on like the Epstein stuff and people just like throwing evidence around that he was at least acquainted with him. Wait, what is this? He talks like a racist 5-year-old. Oh no. Oh no. Okay, let's see. What is this? This is definitely a Truth Social post. Could you all just focus on the very many other more important things discussed than whether or not I may or may not be all over the Epstein files? There's a big flood in Texas, huge flood as it relates to water. Oh my fucking God, dude. Many people died, many beautiful young girls. Like the way that's said. Perhaps some not so beautiful illegal Mexican peoples as well. He doesn't say people, he says peoples. Perhaps drug dealers disguised as day laborers. You can never tell. They don't speak American. Very suspicious. Again, forget about me and the Epstein files. Focus on Mexicans and flooding. That can't be real. That can't be real. Is there a place I can view the posts without actually having to go to the website? Rollcall.com, social media archive. Okay, that may work. That may work. Let's see. Oh my God. 59 seconds ago. Now, let me see real quick. So this was posted on the 12th. So this was 2 days ago. Jesus, how far am I going to have to scroll? So, and then it's marked 2 hours before for this person's screenshot. So I'm gonna have to scroll a while. Let's see. Oh, no, wait, no, I'm already at 12. Okay. That was way faster than I expected. 11th. Okay, scroll back up. Did I scroll past it? There is a big rant here on like about fucking nothing. Oh my god, it actually saves the ones he deleted. Although he posted one and then deleted it and then reposted it again. 4 minutes away, split from each other. It took him 4 minutes to post something, delete it, and repost the exact same thing. Okay. I guess. Okay, yeah, it looks like the post I read is probably fake. At least according to this. Although he did have another weird as shit rant on the same day, but it's not the same one. When the client list existed, bed 2 seconds after it didn't exist. Oh, why is everyone talking about this guy? Seeing children who died, a coworker showed me an AI picture of 3 girls at the summer camp that died running to the... What? Beautiful painting. I had to tell him that's AI, dude. The thing too is the guests that I have over right now, they were camp counselors at one of the camps down there with my sister. So they were international counselors. So yeah. Got a couple people that were in the area in the house. But it's fine. They're waiting to be able to like fly out. I think they had, I don't know the full information, but I guess they're just like stuck for a little bit. Is the position of the tough guy bouncer still open at the Dark Carnival? I really want to throw off troublemakers on the zipper ride. Well, the ride is still in motion. Are you thinking of the carnival? Because I used to go, oh, okay, this is the one that's like, how do I describe this? The like elongated, like oval shaped ride that has the cages that like spin inside of it. Is that the zipper ride you're thinking of? Because that's one of my favorite carnival rides of like all time. The zipper is a good fucking ride. Although I want to say there was a story of a lady having her like hair ripped out while riding the zipper. I don't think she got scalped. I know there was a little girl that got scalped, but that was on a different ride. That was on the like Zinger, I think is what that one was called. Something like that. It's the one that kind of like has like 3 chairs on 3 different arms and it like whips you out like as you're spinning around. If I remember correctly, she got stuck. It got stuck in the machinery because she had really long hair. We're scalping for the schmurder. No, we're not scalping for the schmurder. Apparently those cabins weren't supposed to even be built there. Wait, what? Huh? Oh, the girls' cabins at Camp Mystic? Maybe? I don't know. I don't know too much about that. They weren't from that summer camp. They were from another local summer camp that was on the group, Guadalupe. The one that I showed y'all the other night. The one that I went to. We're talking about scalping? No, we're not talking about scalping. I was just trying to remember from because somebody mentioned the zipper ride, the carnival zipper ride. I think so. Oh, okay, gotcha. Maybe? Like maybe they were, I wouldn't doubt they were built like not to regulations, but there's no telling. I'm still trying to see if I can actually find if maybe it's older than the 12th, but I'm already back in the 9th. This is our golden age. Sure, dude. Announcing a 50% tariff on copper? What? Huh? 50% tariff on copper, dude? That's gonna fuck everything up, dude. Now, we still need to get rid of pennies. Pennies literally cost more to make than they're worth. This is like, I think it was like 2014 when pennies were like 1.6 cents to print. Like the blanks were literally worth more than the penny itself. You want to know something stupid? When I found out that that was there was a group of people that actually like supported the penny and lobbied against getting rid of the penny. Do you want to know what the main reason was? But also Lincoln heads. Murdoch, you're right on the money. You're right on the money. But do you know what else has Lincoln's face on it? Or Lincoln's head on it? The $5 bill, my dude. Lincoln's also on the $5 bill. What the fuck do we need a penny for? For that, what the fuck do we need a nickel and dime for, too, while we're at it? Just take it back down to quarters and turn, like, the $2 and $5 bills into coins. Phased out the penny decades ago? Yeah. We need to start, like, rounding our shit. Quick Google search says it takes about 3.5 cents to make a penny. Jesus, dude. I hate that. I hate all of that. Bloomberg says we hoarded copper so we can last. Okay. We put Keanu Reeves on the penny. That doesn't raise the value of the penny. I think we should put Keanu Reeves on the $20 bill. Keanu Reeves deserves to be on the $20 bill. Okay, I'm just seeing a bunch of the same stuff that I saw earlier. Oh. Uh-oh. Okay. Ooh. Okay. John Wick on the penny. Johnny on the $20 bill. Oh my god. Put Marin on the penny. We don't need pennies. Get rid of pennies. Get rid of nickels. Hell, get rid of dimes. How much does it cost to make a dime? A dime is 0.05 cents. Cost to make a penny. 3.69 cents. I'm guessing it's because of the difference in material. Because the dime's made from what? Nickel? Oh, no, sorry. That's not 0.05 cents. That's 0.05 cents. So that means that the dime is still profitable to the US Mint, generating 0.0424 in profit. Okay, sorry, I read that wrong. I was thinking it was cents and then I didn't see the dollar sign. So yeah, it costs about half the amount of dimes to make them. Even then though, I really don't think we need it. Again, coin operation, baby. Coins are cool. They're fun. They're tactile. Paper money gets fucking gross. Embrace slabs of wood. How profitable is Mountain Coin? I'll let you know when we make it. I'll let you know when we make it. Oh my god. Hold on. I'm memeing. All right. Insider Malvin Coin knowledge. Listen, that's don't you know? That's how crypto launches work. You always got to have insiders. It's literally just a way to funnel money to the people that are ready to cheat the system. Don't you know? You give out coins to the people so that they'll advertise it for you. You give yourself a whole bunch of the coins super early on. We think what else? Claim that you're not going to be capable of selling your like stock that you have, or early sellers are going to be capable of selling their stock. And then you launch. As soon as you launch and everybody starts buying the coin, you wait 24 hours and then you sell all of it. Doesn't the US not produce copper? That's a good question. Let's go see. US copper production. Copper mining in the United States. Not actually that bad, although most of it is in, it looks like New Mexico and Arizona. Like almost every single copper mine is, yeah, but this is the map from 2003. Average grade of United States copper ore and concentrate, it just goes down. It goes down drastically over the years. Wow. Wow. Concentrating ore ended. Hold on. What year is that? I can't see because there's fucking, oh my God. There's like a bar in the fucking, okay, there we go. 1960 looks like the time we ran out of concentrated copper ore. And then we went from 2.6% copper recoverable in the mid 1900s. And I mean 1900s as in like 1905 was when we started counting. And then this chart only goes to about like 2012, 2013. And we're down to 0.4% recoverable ore from our copper mines. So you can put those children out of jobs. They crave the mines. You fucking goofball. But smelters, there are 3 operating copper smelters. Grupo Mexico in Hayden, Arizona, Rio Tinto in Garfield, Utah, and Freeport McMoran in Miami, Arizona. There's a Miami in Arizona. Oh, the United States is a net exporter of copper ore and copper concentrate. In 2015, out of 1.25 million metric tons of recoverable copper metal extracted from mines, 320,000 tons of copper were exported in the form of ore and concentrate to be smelted and refined elsewhere. Okay, I guess our mines are actually pretty decent. Alaska is not currently a significant copper producer, but they are aware that there are copper reserves in Alaska. When did they... The Pebble Mine is a proposed copper gold molybdenum mine. The deposit is a large porphyry copper gold molybdenum mine, and if developed would be a major producer of these metals. What do you use molybdenum for? Search. Atomic number 42, hard silvery white metal that is essential for life in trace amounts, acting as a cofactor for certain enzymes involved in various metabolic processes, crucial for human health. Industry, okay. Alloy enhancing strength, hardness, temperature, performance of steel and other alloys. Ah, it's steel production. Okay. I'm Genuine. Hi, I'm Genuine as well as Ruby. Ruby Devil, how are you doing? Welcome in, you two. If you don't mind stuff like ytterbium and rubidium in the US, only place of remotely be found is Alaska anyway. Oh. To Google. Listen. I'm a Google debunker, okay? Google debunker in the house. But, okay. I think that's enough just kind of rambling until I open hashtag Umamusume again to see all the goofy fan art. It's fine. Okay. All right. I just like people's, I keep seeing, oh my God, I keep seeing art of all the grass that people bought, like Urara. And then on top of that, trying to check, there's like a lot of comics too of people fucking drawing millions of kilograms. Correct. Now an ore at the carnival. There is no ore. There is no ore. Do not let the United States know. Oh. Aw. Oh, okay. They're also trying to get people to buy the same grass that they've been buying for Urara for Grass Wonder. That's cute. That's cute. Okay, I'm sorry, but I love the fucking... I just like the wholesomeness that has come out of them like releasing Uma Musume with a global release. It's wait, we're buying grass. I mean, if you want to buy grass for a retired racehorse, you Googler. What do you mean? What do you use? What do you use, Sunstar? Makes the best refined petroleum products. Is that true? Doesn't Germany import a lot of its petroleum from Russia? Or at least used to? I could have swore there was a big chunk. I remember hearing something about that they built a pipeline from Russia to Germany for the sole fact that Germany needs it for their power production. A shovel? Oh, good Lord. Oh no, Claude sent me something. Oh no. It's a good day when you get a message from the Claude Everproud and it's a spoiled image. You're just like, ooh. Ooh. Ducks have all the knowledge. DuckDuckGo because Google got even more shit on searches at some point years ago. That's true. The thing is though, is I know how to find like better sources. And I know people don't like, oh no. They don't like, I'm sorry. I'm getting distracted by fucking memes. And it's kind of funny. It's kind of funny. God damn it. Easily distracted by horse. Easily distracted by horse. Oh my God. Game win? Game win? We're going to play games soon. I promise we're going to play games soon. I promise. I think I've done enough distracting myself. What or do we have over here? Double checking. Okay. I can go ahead and put this away and page crashed. What do you mean page crashed, Opera? What the fuck? Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and get the game set up, and while it loads, we will go change the category. Category. Crime scene cleaner. Crime simulator? What is that? Oh my goodness. Okay. Do a little bit, just 30 more minutes. You could do it. No, we're not going to do 30 more minutes because we can also yap while we're playing this game. Let me make sure I get the capture. I don't even remember I don't think we selected a mission yet, so I don't think we know what we're going in for. Right? Does anybody remember? That's the wrong fucking button again. I did it to myself. I keep hitting the reset button I have because it's right next to the fucking screen button. Let me also make sure I get my tiny eyes back. There we go. When we doing Hans game on stream, after partner, how does that sound, chat? If we get partner, I was gonna say, what was the other thing I said last week? I already forgot what it was. There was something I said that we would play after partner. We're being focused right now, Ordained. We got to be focused. I want y'all to enjoy the things that we do a lot of over here. And then when we hit partner and get that check mark, then we can start doing whatever the fuck we want again. Why do you think I turned 2 days into just chatting days? Because y'all really like just chatting days. All right, hold on. I gotta see what Claude posted. Because I was gonna save it for after stream, but I have to know. Okay. If we hit 3,000, Baird will make the horses go round. We can do that. If y'all somehow paid the rest of all of that is up there right now, we would play Hans game right fucking now. As soon as you finished it, I will break out the Hans game. That's a lot, mind you. That's a lot. And it'll count for all the goals. It'll count for all the goals that are on the list. I will count it. Hi, Gaia. How are you doing? What trouble are you getting into? All right. And then let me also make sure I stopped the music. Oh, wait. Why did the music stop? There we go. I'm going to turn it up. Okay. So it rewound us to when we had like just finished remodeling the his daughter's room. That's what it is. Okay. Radio off. It's so cute. He got rid of like all the hospital stuff, got her new toys, cleaned everything up. I don't know if these stars were here before, if he just put those up. Did anybody as a kid have these stars? Anybody remember? I think it was a cousin or a friend, I can't remember for sure, that had these, and these stars only last. They only glow for like maybe 3 months. And they're the kinds of things that are like, you have to have like a big bright light on them, and then you turn the light off, and then they glow for a little bit. The thing is, after a while, they completely stop. They're just plastic pieces stuck to the walls. Okay, accept mission. Why is this door always open, dude? It bothers me. It bothers me so much. Okay, let's just pick up. Hello? Dog food. We're getting more stuff in here, right? Like, this is getting more organized. I don't think we had this carpet here. You weren't there before we did that other mission. And then I'm pretty sure this wasn't here. Maybe the door doesn't like being closed. Too bad. Anyway. Elena. Hey, Dad. I wanted to let you know I'm starting to feel better. The doctors say the treatment is working. I've been able to get out of bed more often. I've enjoyed in a group activity today, and it was fun. It felt good to laugh again. I still have to take it easy, but it's nice to see some progress. I can't wait to come home and spend time with you and Dexter. I miss you both every day. Oh, this is the art museum. Okay. The last VIP event, my art gallery requires your cleaning services. We use the entire building, so it might need some work. Lots of people involved. Once you've arrived, you'll understand what I mean. This time, not everything went according to plan. Can't risk making any more mistakes. I'm already in trouble with some important people, so I'm hoping you can help me clean up this mess. This is our first 4-size location, and 10 bodies, dude. 10. Okay, hold on. Do we have any points? No, we don't. Okay, that's fine. Excuse me. Pardon me. Excuse me. Modern. Why is the art museum on a cliff? Just a couple of peeps. Ooh.
It'll be a long night.
Yeah, it fucking is, dude. 10 bodies, an art museum. I'm not an art restorer.
With my own eyes, what these billionaires use their money for was disgusting. While some of us are trying to make ends meet, others find pleasure in some gruesome.
An entire building, mistakes were made. Oopsie daisies.
For the rich.
Hi, dipshit. How are you doing? Start at the incinerator so we have ways to clean up.
Cleaning artist reporting for duty.
Cleaning artist. Trying to remember. Q, that's what it is. Okay. All right, trash first. Okay, don't know where you go yet. Uh-oh. Can I? Okay, I can't jump over it. I'm also really glad we got the, what was it? The, like, unlimited flashlight battery really early. Oh. Okay, so it seems... Okay, we're missing another painting there. Whew. Oh. Oh. Sponges are 3. I keep hitting the wrong one. Back on the wall with you. All right, let's go open some doors. Oh. Uh-oh. Yeah. Yeah. Wait, why are you made of steel, but I can pop the other ones at the cabin level? Fuck. Jesus. Okay. Okay. Somebody else's footprints in here. Okay. Hug? Who threw blood on the paintings? Is it a protest again? I don't think anybody... Good lord, dude. Good lord. Okay. Now, I've seen... I think it was a Mookie that I saw, like, start this level. But I don't think I've ever seen anybody finish it, so I don't know what it, like, looks like once it's done. Okay, I think we got that. Is that a shotgun? You're something. But what are you? You strange little donut thing. You're going right there. For now. For now. Sweep it up until this... Okay. Mop's dirty. Clean you up. Put you up.
The day the music survived.
Huh? All right, hold on. You heard him. Where is it? All right, let's get the song. All right, chat. There we go. This is... there was also this. Okay. I guess... Oh. Didn't get all of this. Okay. Oh, it's locked. Video killed the radio star? No, we're not there yet. All right, we need to get working because I'm pretty sure... Jesus. Gaming chair. Oh no, we got one of the bones. All right, come on, bone. I'm pretty sure we have to like piece together. There he is. I can say I think at some point we have to like start putting together this T-Rex. Jesus, dude. All right, let's put some of these benches back. Get rid of that just because. Okay, that's another square painting. Is it you? I think it's you. Okay. I think you go over there. Although you don't really seem to match a lot of the things that are over here. Okay, it's definitely not you. These are all square shaped. So we're gonna put you here for now. Dig those rhythmy blue. Oh my god. a radio in this room? Okay. He butchered those there 6 somebody. Wait, huh? I feel like, because like these are all kind of like landscape art, so we'll probably find some like other landscapes in these other rooms. Okay, but where is this faucet? Is that, where is that? Here, let's just do this. Clean up some of these. Jesus. The footsteps on the table. Okay, where does this go? Lamp. Oh, son of a bitch. I don't know where some of these things go. And we need, okay, we have some. We can clean up some of this. That's fine. Bash.
The red here truly pops.
Okay, the mops still aren't very good on carpet, so it's fine. It's fine. Oh, pot. Oh, uh-oh. Okay. Is that really our only... What does that end? Where is that? Oh, is the chair that's supposed to go up there? Oh, Jesus. Wow, the difficulty spike on this one. Okay, let's do... Ooh. Is it... Jesus, this place is huge. Okay. Oh, I clicked the wrong fucking button. Okay. Okay, it's definitely back there, but... Oh, I know how we need to get up there. Up, up. Clean some of these while we can. And then we've got to open... Oh. And then we'll clean this chair. And I'm pretty sure it goes right there. Yeah. Okay.
Don't underestimate the power of parkour.
Oh my God, shut up. Oh, shit. Sir, are you admitting that you are a, that you can parkour? Listen, this janitor just gets cooler by the minute, okay? Okay, how... Oh, son of a bitch. Can I don't think I can get on top of that chair because of the way it's turned. Oh, shit. Ah. Oh, damn it. Ugh. Let's try the other one then. Real quick though. Clean you. I just want to get to the fucking spout because right now both of our mops are dirty. Oh, I overshot that. That's my own bad. I just want to open the door. Is there another chair down there? Oh, fuck you, arms. I hit the hand statue and lost like all momentum. Oh, come on. Ugh. Yay, jumping puzzles. Why didn't you jump? Okay. Now I'm getting annoyed. You were supposed to be relaxing! Why is the one... that was fucking lag. I did not... It felt like my frame rate just dipped. Turn off the flashlight. Maybe it's the lighting engine. Whew. Okay. Oh, come on! Okay, there's got to be like a different way to get up there. Okay. Come here. Oh, you're not clean. Stand up, damn you. Don't laugh at me. Hi, Knight. How are you doing? Oh, it's not the same chair. You're the right chair. Okay. Okay, you can do a little bit of cleaning. Not immediately dirty. Fuck it. Come on. Clean, damn you. Get clean, get clean, get clean, clean. Okay. Save that for in a minute. Go ahead and clean you off. There's got to be another way to get back there. That's a body up there. Hands. Okay. That's another one of those weird symbols.
I believe that none of them came here to admire the art.
All right, you. Red room.
Red to red.
Okay. Raggle fucking frag. I swear, I feel like this is the way that we're supposed to do this. Whew. There we go.
It's like a VIP area.
And then here's the other chair.
Shouldn't it
Come here,
be
bitch.
off limits?
Go ahead. Go over there. And then we need... That's the wrong button. Tools. Axe. Smash. Smash. Thank you. Wait, it says that's the only... Oh my fucking god. Okay, where's this fucking spigot? Ooh, give me that. They lied. They lied. Oh my god. Good luck and good night? Huh? Berry barrel. Okay. No more music. Back to the game. Just break the glass doors and clean it up like everything else. You're talking about the button. Money. Oh, oh. Oh. Hey guys. Excuse me. Okay. Immediately full trash bin. Okay. Oh, there's the gamer chair we needed. Up. Gimme. Get in there. Okay. Clean you. Clean you. Clean you. And clean you. Refill you. Then I need... There we go. You. You. And then we'll do this. Coat all of them. And then we're taking this back. I'm fine if I get blood all over the place for a second. Okay, then we'll go all the way back around to here. Hi, chair. Fuck you, chair. All right. Now we can actually work on getting all of this shit clean. Cleaning. Hunting in a museum, huh? Not my first choice. That's what it seems like. That's what... Oh god, it's already dirty. Thanks, lamp. Wrong one. That was almost bad. I'm glad that didn't just slap onto the ground. I actually wasn't aiming close. Oh, wait, it doesn't smear anymore. That's right. I got those perks. Ooh. Okay. Let's go. We got a body up here. It is very goofy now that the, Oh. What's up with the totally not Squid Game, outfit? Also, you're going downstairs. Okay. Oh, that's where the lamp goes. All right, let's go get that lamp. Clean you up. Come here. Fuck you, goat. Then you go like here. I guess those are the only chairs that we have in here right now. The others are probably elsewhere. Okay. And then you.
Sorry, I am late for your deathbed confession.
Let me off. Let me off. Okay. Yoink. Jesus. Oh. Okay. We're definitely, yep. I say, don't you go like right here? Yep. Okay, let's go. You know what? We've got enough power behind these sponges that we can kind of just use them on the floor. It's fine. It's fine. It works out. And then once everything's dirty, we'll go back. Okay, so move furniture back to places 18 of 25. Jesus. Okay. I think after this, after like all of our shit's dirty again, we're gonna go. Oh, there's still more here. Okay, all the blood's gone. Table, red table. Wait, what goes here? Oh, the smaller circular chair, that's right. Okay, I guess we'll find those things later. I'm gonna go ahead and put you like here, so. Oh, here's the yellow globe. Wait, put you back real quick. All right, come here. Why do they move so much shit everywhere, dude? Jesus, we're already at the next hour break. Holy shit. We'll leave the goat there for now. Me. Okay, let's put the bone in just because we can. You look like you go right here. Fix you. Fix you. Clean you up. We're still not really having any keys being found. Oh, we're missing a feather. All right, sorry, Caesar.
The triplets are back together.
Rook. Rook. Yeah, we're scrubbing as hard as we can. The dual sponges, though, are still very funny to me. Sponges akimbo, baby. Sponges akimbo. And then let me... Okay. Oh. That's the thing. I think at the end of this, because I'm trying to like 100% as many of the maps as I can, we're probably going to end up spending like a lot of time trying to find like tiny specks of blood. Fire extinguisher. Okay, you come here. All right, never mind. Come out. Okay. Could you imagine if I'd put something away and then find out that it's the fucking, oh, wrong thing. That it's one of the things that like I put away that still has like blood on it facing away from me. That would suck. Oh shit.
It's not how it usually works.
Oh, hey. Huh. What is up with the tactical boxes? I can't read it. It's too smudgy. Okay. Excuse me. Corpses? Corpses. Corpses. Nope. Nothing. Okay, actually, this is... No, we'll do the cafeteria, and then we'll be able to move, like, off to this side for that other...
An illusion of choice.
Bones! Okay, let's put this back while we can. It looks like you're, like, here? Oakley dokley then. And put you back. Is that my footsteps? Maybe? I don't know. Who cares? Alright. I broke something. Hey, buddy. Let's go ahead and do this. 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 There we go. And then this one. Then,
Rock and roll eats the rich, as it was meant to be in the first place.
you know what? We'll leave him here for now. And we'll just kind of sweep around him for now. And then once I've like cleared all the blood on the floor, then we can get him out of here. Son of a bitch. Son of a bitch. Okay, we'll do this. Because I'm pretty sure I can carry like 3. I'm pretty sure I can carry like up to 3. What do you call it? Trash bags. I'm pretty sure. Oh, just sent that flying. That's fine. I'm getting, what's the word? Here, pick you up. Oh, you're the other. There you go. Money. Table. Table. God damn it. Galby. Okay. Ad break time. All right, guys. I'm going to give you all the music. I'm going to give you all the games. We will be back in a minute or two, and I need to run to the bathroom. So don't burn anything down. I'm watching you. I'm watching you. Don't burn anything down. All right. What I missed? Who died? Oh, you started another one? Okay, that's fine. That's fine. We're good. Let me turn the music down. One says she's a friend of mine. Oh my goodness. All right. Chat, are you okay? Were you on best behavior? Watsuku's dancing in the corner for some reason. Just dancey dance. Just dancey dance. I'm muted. I shouldn't be. You hate the Eagles? You don't like the Eagles? Why don't you like the Eagles? All right, here we can do. Weird Al is down here for some reason. Why is Weird Al down here? Oh, here we'll do the where is it? Somebody. There it is. Let's see how long it takes somebody to recognize this song. Oh God, I haven't seen Big Lebowski in years. Last time I saw it was when I worked at a place and they played like classic movies. The thing was though, is we would play movies essentially on repeat for like weeks. Played it for like weeks. So, but like the last time I remember we played fucking like The Goonies. We played The Goonies for months. There was just the movie projectors, or the television projectors technically would play like sports, play news on certain occasions. But they would mostly play movies. And The Goonies was on repeat. Love this song. Love this song. Yeah, it's the Bugles. Is it Bugles or was it Buggies? Hold on. Bugles? Yeah. No, wait. It spelled like Buggles. Is it Buggles or is it Bugles? Yeah, there's two G's. There's two G's, which usually means it's Buggles. All right. I've finished my gamer steps from the gym this morning, finally. All right. Turn it down just a bit. Where's the... Oh, I clicked the game, but it didn't like open at one point, so I got scared. All right, come here. You come here. Get this fucking bottle out of here because I don't want to keep breaking more of them. Here, you can go up here. Game has ended. Also, wait a second. Ah, evidence, finally. Oh, I still can't read it. Yeah, your name on the Cars. The bands? Oh, I don't know any of the Cars songs off the top of my head. I mostly know songs more than I know bands. Lick the blood off the floor, have fun. Queens, no! That's not sanitary! CEO and Clark. Busy tonight. Text me if anything happens and I'll keep you updated. Crime Coin is suddenly rising in value. Should we buy it? I'm telling you, it's going to skyrocket soon. Boss, hello? Can I buy it? Boss, it's urgent. Answer me.
It has probably crashed by now.
Hilarious. Okay. I'm going to take this Bombay and stuff off. Also, give me that money. Because this game is prone to like dropping everything that was on a table. Oh, damn it. Drugs. Oh, son of a bitch. Hey, buddy. Okay, sponges are still pretty clean. All right, let's get as much of this as we can.
That guy must have really spoiled their fun.
Can put you over here. I'm looking for like evidence or anything that's not microwave. Damn it. I swear to God, if we open a microwave at one point, there's like somebody's head in it. Was Hans Zimmer a member of the Bugles? Was he? I don't think so. Can I check? Let me see. Will Spotify tell me if I click the band? Trevor Horn and Geoff Downs. All right. Any other song request? Any other song request? Okay. I was mostly just looking to see if there was any other... You up. Are you? Yeah, you're already in place, but instead, let's do this. Yep. Okay, there we go. Ah, here's the other tables. Oh, good Lord. Jesus, dude. And then I'm pretty sure this painting doesn't go here. This looks like another one of the abstract ones. So we're going to put you like here. And find me spinning in a mug inside. That'd be cute though. That'd be cute. Also, hold on. I need to check something. Hold on. I looked at Claude's thing during the commercial break, and now I have to blow him kisses. Hey yo, does somebody say Duran Duran? Oh shit, gimme. Invincible. Duran. Invisible. Instead we get a parade. Oh hey! Oh, he has idle animations. Oh god, I'm getting sensory overload. Hold on. Move you. You can go here. What? I feel like I was listening to somebody, or somebody was playing the song on their stream like yesterday. Is there something going on with Duran Duran recently? Is there a reason people are playing this song? Was cleaning things, heard some shuffling, skittering come from the pantry, only to find Ordain get into the pantry again. You rat bastard! Chases him with the mop. Ah, shit. Okay, that's fine. Clean you. And then here it is. The laptops and stuff don't seem to matter. All right, we're gonna put you here. You can go over here. And then, all right, let's clean the mops. Ah, damn it. That's fine. That's fine. Right about how good it was. Oh, that's right. How are our sponges? Pretty good. I don't think I need to worry about the sponges. Move, 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 trash, move, trash, move. You.
Disturbingly cozy place to watch people fight for their lives.
Okay. You go there. The funny thing is, this isn't even my favorite Duran Duran song. I don't think this is even... Oh, shit. I knew that was gonna happen. God, I got some serious muscles if I could just do that. Okay, let's get this pillar. You know, I know there's a whole like power washer and stuff in this game, but I have barely used it. I don't want to like accidentally knock this chair over and have to put that shit back. Uh-oh. Okay, hold on. No, I need the other Duran Duran song. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Play. Yeah. Okay. Wait, this says it has a misplaced exhibit? I'm guessing it's up there. Chair. Chair. You're not supposed to be here. Now, where do you go? Ah. Here. Oh, wait, there's one here already. Okay, I don't think that's right, but I'm gonna leave you there. And take these drugs. Give me the drugs. Give me the drugs! all the blood steps. Okay. Can we... I think this thing's already... Oh, it's not clean. Ah. Fucking love this song. I'm sorry. Huggy like the wolf. It's a wolf. No, not like that. You fucking goofball. I'm trying to remember why I like this song so much, and I don't remember why. But this isn't even like Invisible is not even like second best. I know another one. It just crossed my mind. Chat, can you guess what my next favorite Duran Duran song is? Oh, uh-oh. Oh no. It just fucking keeps going, dude. Oh, I see you. Okay. Get you out of here, Bombay. I'm gonna assume you go here. We're gonna live under that assumption. More drugs. All right, come here, chair. Listen, we're just doing the Cinderella method in this case. It's fine. It's totally fine. Okay. Okay. Chair. Where chair? Here, might as well clean this while we can. Oh, wait. What is that? Evidence. Right here. Okay, I missed it. Bets. Uh-oh. Most kills. Last man standing. Find secret room. First to kill.
I guess you can put a price on human life.
Gimme. Let's go.
He must have had some other plans then, just to participate
Can
in the
I?
game.
I can't pick up the trash at the same time I'm carrying a potty. Also, this is not the song I wanted next. Where is it? There we go. Because Vor mentioned? I don't give a shit about Vor. In fact, I would prefer no mention of Vor ever. Oh, hello. Oh no. They actually had like the rules like out on the thing. Modern art, painted with blood. Last man alive wins. Only one winner claims the prize. You can't surrender. You can't bring anything from the outside. That's misspelled. You can use anything found in the building. If you find the supply box, you can use its contents. You'll be led to different starting locations. The game starts on a signal. You can't leave the building. You can't enter the VIP zone.
I think I've seen this film before.
Okay. Oh, also, that's the table we need. Duh, the red table. Okay. Get in there. You're coming with me. It goes up there. Yep. Come on. Her name is Rio and she... Okay. Damn, I'm good. Okay, come here. Oh! They fused! Ooh! Ow. Excuse me. Pardon me. That's kind of cool. Does they... Oh, it turns into a single bag still. Okay. Oakley dokley. Alright, let's get some of this. so much to this map. Jesus. The leap from like size 3 to size 4 feels crazy. Like we haven't even checked some of the rooms. Just a cheap trick. Nah, baby, it's called power of friendship. Even if Vegeta pretends to hate Goku, it's fine. Oh god, these two mops combined are not gonna be enough to clean all of this. Not sure, but I think those are my footsteps. Listen, sometimes it feels like these sponges get more surface area done. A symbol? Okay, hold on. I suspect that goes... I'm gonna assume that goes in the music room. I'm gonna put it in there because I kind of expect it to go. Yeah, there's another symbol in there. At some point, we will probably find the key to this room. I can't open it right now. Are you? Yeah, there's nothing on this side. Ah, there's the hands. All right, hold on. Let's do this. Whoops. Okay. Hands. Up. Okay. Hi, Shuki. How are you doing? Is this power washing sim? No, this is crime scene cleaner. Ah, there we go. Okay, where's that donut? You. That's where the sparkly thing goes, and we're missing something there that looks like a spindle of some kind. You. I'm pretty sure you went here. Okay. All right, buddy, come on. Ooh, hello.
You running away or stabbed in the back or both?
I always think it's funny whenever these things have some of the, like, evidence in them. And you take it out and they just like swing. Bouncy. I forget, did one of the other missions have 11 bodies? Didn't... I swear one of the missions had, here, give me that arm. Red! I have your arm. Okay, we can't put that one on yet. We don't have the shoulder. Feather there. Now I run from you. All right. A boy could give you, think my tears, and that's not nearly all. All right. Red, do you need a hand? Damn it. Somebody's funnier than me. That's illegal. That's illegal at the carnival. All right. Eesh. Okay. Oh, it's crooked. That's what that shape is.
I should clean it first.
Itch. Always got to make me do the cleaning first. All right, we also found another one of the yellow chairs. All right, let's go.
yellow to yellow.
Again. Okay. Let's go clean all of our stuff. Oh. Oh. Hold on. I did not realize that this was here. Get that wall, get that wall, get that wall, get that wall. Still don't know where you go, but you have the, again, they have the same, like, hold on. Fuck. Ducks. How do I get up there? Yeah. Like that? You know what? Sure. Clean tail, clean tail, clean tail. God damn it. Flip over. Flip over, damn you. You're the toe, aren't you?
Please, don't come back to life.
There we go. Okay, I wasn't even close to the tail for some reason. Yeah, it's a toe. You were right. You were right, Knight. All right, let's go, buddy. Might as well get you cleaned up while we can. You know, I also never balanced that painting, so... Oh, because I never finished cleaning it. Here, buddy, take a rest. Smack.
First things first, gotta scrub, scrub, scrub.
Ah, there it is. There we go. Okay. Oh, what did that wood? Very primitive weapon to use. How primitive can you get? More than a T-Rex toe. Ooh. That's not gonna count. Oh, it did count. Okay. Still don't know where this goat goes. Put you right here for now. I feel like we'll probably find other things that look very similar. Okay. We'll go clean that in a minute. Clean you. Clean you. Clean you. Clean you. All right. Stubbing your toe, but never stabbing with the toe? How bad do you think it hurts? We use resistance on this one. And then power. Oh, wait, did I just double resistance? Actually, you know what? That's fine. That's fine. I did not realize you could actually double resistance. And then we can leave this sponge because it's clean. Okay, we're still missing a chair. Am I blind? I feel like I'm blind. Ah. Well, I found our location for our, like, abstract paintings. Here. And then... you, take you. Good luck. Oh. Don't like that. Don't like that at all. Okay, so we know where the abstract paintings go now, so we'll go bring that blue one up in a second. Jesus. Okay, faces and stuff here. Ah. Okay, let's go get that blue one. Why would they be making this like a game or it to be like some kind of goofy abstract art piece?
Back on the wall.
Ah, there you are. Oh. Ooh, that was weird. Probably missing the one for this. I feel like it's gonna be like another face piece. Or, you know, this one. Nice. There's the tail. Yoink. Wait, no, over here. I was confused what I was looking at for a second. Okay, so I think the other space, like this one, could be... Can I jump over? You! I still need to find that other chair.
Now you can go
Nice.
back to being admired.
Okay. Did that change color? Don't generally use the actual fossils because they're so fragile, but instead use a cast. Oh yeah, I know it's usually cast. Still, like, I don't think a cast would technically probably survive a drop from up here. Or at least completely unharmed. It could be noticeable, but also this is a game, so like... Ooh. Okay. Get to you back. Well, there's the elephant, so am I about to turn around and find where the goat goes? I'm a little surprised I didn't find somebody off the side of that balcony. I was right. Okay. What is this? Oh! Nice. Oh. I can't pick you up. Stop it. Stop haunting me. Ooh. Knew there's gonna be things to steal in these lockers. Marlboros. Okay, let me also go back. Pausing the music unless somebody requests another song. Because why not? We're just kind of jamming out. Oh, can I interact with you? Drugs. An apple, drugs, and Marlboros. Amazing. Also, here's one of the supply crates. Ooh. Money. An axe. And a first aid kit. Can't open the fridge. Microwave? Ooh, we can't open the drawers, though. No secret room back there, right? Nothing. Nothing fun in the bake room. Break room. Bake room. Okay, then. Adult education. What do you mean? Okay, what? Oh, okay, this is the room that had the carpets on the wall. Hello. Note, there's a VIP event planned for tomorrow. Count it as your day off. No need to turn anything off. Text will take care of everything. We will see each other on Monday. Have a good rest till then.
Never say no to a paid day off.
That's a random display case. I kind of... Ah, there we go. That's how we get behind here. Fuck you, mannequin head. I see your ass up here. Fuck you. Okay. Ooh. Oh, okay. Oh, I don't know that song. I know Hall & Oates, but I don't know Adult education off the top of my head. Adult education. Okay. Kind of don't want to like... Oh, damn it. It didn't actually... I hit 2 instead of 3. That's fine, though. Ah, that's where the guitar came from. Should have known. All right, get out of here. Oh. Hi, Tag. I almost had a fucking heart attack. Why did the... Hi, Tag. What are you doing? So I have the music really loud in my ears compared to what it is on stream. Excuse me, corpse, excuse me. Yes, Mr. Corpse, I hear you, I understand, but too bad. This is more important. Oh, hey, tape. Totally missed you. Garbage band. Okay, and then let's get you up. Let's get your bass. I'm missing you up. Damn, this band fucks. I can't wait to see the next show. Oh my god. Oh, we missed some. Okay. Let's move this real quick. Anything count as drugs? Drugs. Okay, you. Hup. Other side. Oh. And then we'll go get the other symbol. I don't think we've seen the other... Oh, there it is. Oh, fuck you. It's on this side. I knew I was gonna fucking bump that thing. Okay. So we know where the other symbol is. We'll take you. We'll take the body
Someone
first.
didn't get along with the rest of the band.
Wait. Okay, you're not actually in a wrong place. I was thinking for a second I'd have to put that back. Let me close this real quick. Nope. Okay, nothing behind it. Fuck you. Okay, I don't know why the lights went off. I feel like I missed something. I feel like something happened and I just didn't see it. Oh. You're not straight. Guitar. Where was the guitar? Guitar was in the cafeteria. Let's also take you.
If the time comes, I hope you will spare me.
Then guitar. Pretty sure it was back here. Yep. Guitar. And then we need to take the goat in a minute. Jesus, there's so much shit on this map. I think we're only going to be able to do this map today. Oh, I did bring the symbol in here. Okay, so it's right next to us. That's fine. That's even better. It's dirty. There we go. They just didn't like the way I was holding it. Hi. Whoops. Don't worry. Ignore that. I totally didn't just... Would have absolutely broken the shit out of this tail. Nope. Put you there. Let's go, symbol. I think it was on this side. And I know I'm going to have to fix this other... Oh, no. I nailed it. Nice. Slide it right on in. And then we'll get the tail. Excuse me, pardon me. Tail. And then goat, which I think we put in here. And then we can take this through here. Around the back. Fuck you, mannequin. Here. No. And then it was here. Oh, whoops. Okay.
You go.
Okay, then this is back behind the dinosaurs. Okay. Oh, immediately dirty. Fantastic. There's another bust. Okay, let's clean you up. That's fine. We can only kind of do the wall there. Oh, hey. Ooh. Yeah, more dino buttons. We'll click the dino. Here, we'll do this one now. Oh my. Okay, let's go clean our stuff. We are still missing a chair in here. I fucking know we are. Sponges are actually still good, so... Oh, it's right here. I'm fucking blind. Okay, cafeteria done. Let's go clean this section where we pulled the body from earlier. Okay. Yeah, because I'm pretty sure we can't get... Well, there's actually something over there. Ah.
Praise the Duck Lord.
The Duck Lord? Oh, no. Let's go ahead and move you. Move you. Okay, hold on. All right, let's go up here. Yoink. Hi. Taped. Roma. Better luck next time. Flip me. Smile.
Was it really
Rope.
that funny to the almighty VIPs?
Okay. Can't hear the song. Don't worry. Got to without being reminded of the 8 Crazy Nights. Oh no. I think of the anytime I think of 8 Crazy Nights, I always think of the song when they're at like the dinner. I don't remember what the name of that song is from that movie, but I usually listen to it on Christmas. Okay. Next. All right. All the pottery, dude. All the just gigantic fuck off pottery. Oh, there's the red chair. Jesus, guys, you smashed it to shit. All right, what happens if I go over here and I like look at this and I do right click? Ooh, okay, so let's grab this other one real quick. You. Touch. No? No? Tools? Maximum number of combined garbage bags. But it doesn't give me a number. Oh well. This way. We also, let me go get, oh, no wait, that's right. That's where I want to put that. Okay, let's go get, oh, you. $22 couch cushions. East wing. Okay, it counts this whole section. So we're missing 2 chairs. 3 chairs. Which we did just see. One of those chairs. Where was it? In here? Uh-oh. Wrong button. Come here, bitch.
Fuck you.
Thank you. Hey, there's that other orb we needed. Come here. It was in here, wasn't it? Kilroy. Kilroy was here. Okay, you.
Back where you belong.
Oh no, I can't like clean you when you're like this. There we go.
Lost and found.
Wanted to join in on the fun. He's not helping. He's not helping. All right, another song, chat. What other song do y'all want? This is the original Genesis Land of Confusion, though. Pretty good song, if I do say so myself. All right, we need to get finished with some of these other rooms that are like towards the front. Yeah. Hee. Oh, and then we have statues. A miniature version of the Thinker. Oh, we're not going to be able to get... Hello.
I also wonder what some people have in their heads.
That's the bust we saw. That was up here, wasn't it? Whoops. You! Come here. Yeah.
And found.
But still don't know where Caesar goes. Oh, he probably go. Yeah, he does go right here. Come here, bitch. Excuse me. Pardon me. Coming through. These people are the worst when it comes to like just their widespread fucking antics. Here, I'm sticking to cleaning this up regardless. Before I go clean my shit. Okay. Put you back. You. Ah. Oh, a statue of Nefertiti. If they paid for the whole museum, then they're going to use the whole museum? Listen, I guess that's fine. I'm going to guess this room is the one that's like the rest of the blood in this wing. So, you know, we got to do... God, zebra carpet, dude. Chat, do me a favor. Never put animal print carpet in your house. It's fucking ugly. Just do that for me. And because you told me to. Yeah, Genesis is playing. Midnight Oil. I don't know that song. Midnight Oil. Remastered. Ooh. Ooh, now I want to listen to Chicago after this. All right. Carpet clean. I do not know what to call this genre of music, but it makes me think of the B-52s. You know, I probably could be using the like UV light. And it may be a little more useful than what I'm doing, but I'm nothing if not stubborn. Also, this marble carpet shows up again. The whole shack shimmies. Oh, wait, did that just... It did just kind of finish on its own. Huh. Okay, but what furniture are we missing? Peels. Furniture. Furniture. No. Oh, I get it. Oh, I thought I got it. Are there giant tapes? Okay, hold on. Come here. Can I drag you out? No, I can't. Here, do it this way. Close you. You. Oh, son of a bitch. All right, we're going upstairs. Oh, hello. Trying to... I could have sworn I jumped over this balcony earlier. I guess I can't. Okay, we're gonna click it one more time. I feel like that's the secret room. Oh, no, it's fucking right there. I totally fucking missed it. Oh. Life-size Anubis statue. That looks like a magic card. Hello. Yeah. Okay, then. Damien Swiderski. Nothing else? Okay, then. Let's go ahead and close that right back up. Oh, shit. Hold on. This is important. I have to put everything back in its place. Okay. This is important. It can't look like somebody actually climbed this. Roadhouse Blues. Riders of the Storm. La 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 la. Okay. I'm still trying to figure out what the fuck we're missing. I'm surprised I did not notice that earlier. Because we're missing one item, and it's... Oh, it's the Nefertiti bust. Duh. Duh. Okay. Okay, I think we could keep moving. Oh, here, let's go get this bag. Actually, let's do this first. Let's get a second bag. because then we can fuse them. Okay, there we go. Hup. Oh my god, are we already getting close to the next commercial break? Okay. Oh. Still, we have the arm here. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, we just put it on, even though it's floating. This looks like something that somebody just like ran in a circle chasing each other. Which is very goofy, I think. All right, put you back. Ah, there's one of the paintings we needed for the front. Okay. So we're missing one more. We haven't found the feather yet. Eder. Oh. Okay. Let's go. Oh, whoops. You know what? That's fine. Let's clean everything. And then we'll take you, and we're actually going to go to the bathroom over here instead. Okay. Grisky! Grisky! Raiders! Welcome in! Grisky, what were you just chatting about? What shenanigans were you up to? What trouble did you get into? Did you burn anything down? All right, clean detergent. Rebel raids! Did you have a good time? How's the new internet? Is everything working all right? Did anybody burn anything down? Because we are kind of burning shit down over here. Okay. K? Just K. Goods? Oh, okay, good. But welcome in, Raiders. Those of you who don't know me, my name is Mao, and I'm the ringleader of Dark Carnival. I typically play games that are dark, spooky, terrifying, or whatever my little inclinations like to get into. Today... Don't break, don't break, don't break. Okay. Oh, good lord. I don't want to break any more vases because they're a pain to clean up. So... It's fine. It's totally fine. It's not fine. This is awful. Everything about this is awful. Clean off the duckies. But welcome in, Raiders. Wait, Arson, you're the one that usually starts Arson, Ganon. So, not Ganon, why did I say Ganon? We haven't had, Ganon hasn't been here in months.
Is this just my
Hi, Garian.
imagination, or
Oh.
am I seeing a lot of ducks lately?
It's totally not your imagination. But again, welcome in, Raiders. We're making the Slow Crawl Towards partner. If you want to hang out and enjoy the show, I highly recommend leaving a lurk, even if you can't stay. It's greatly appreciated. Otherwise, you can sit here and chat, and we're kind of doing like pseudo song requests. If that makes sense. So if wishing the bestest, ooh, we're kind of doing like classic rock song requests, if that makes sense. Also, let me go ahead and take this katana, sir. Spoing. Clean, clean, clean. Oh my god, I miss so much. I miss so much. Whew. Hi, New Ganon. I mean... How dare... He doesn't have a sword. Ordain does not have a sword. Yet. Oh, there's this shoulder that we needed. That's what that was. I thought that was a piece of, What was it? I thought that was a piece of, like, pot or something. A broken piece of pot. Like these. You and me. You and me. All right, come on, buddy. I'm just gonna assume that both of these guys basically just like killed each other. It's you passed on. How fucking dare. But Gursky, if you need to go rest, if you need to get like food, do all that jazz, I totally understand. But thank you so much for the raid. I hope you had a really good stream. That and my use of emotes? True, just kind of little guy coded. Okay, let's go back. Oh no, we still got plenty on this mop. Get rid of the feet. Oh, there's a feather. Okay, let's take this feather. It's not dirty, right? No, it's not. Okay. Excuse me, duckies. I'm trying to give you a clean display case, if you will. Oh, ad break. I see it. I sees it. I sees it. All right, let me see here. Any other songs I want to hear? Just let me know. Because that one just ended. And no, I'm going to run to the bathroom. I got to pee. I got to pee. I'll be back in a minute. Don't burn anything down. 2 meters high? What? Have a good day, Christy. Okay. Cover song win. Whenever I can like learn to sing better, it's fine. Someday. All right. What'd y'all do? I'll turn the music down in just a second, so don't worry. Don't worry. I sees it. Oh, summer. Okay. Fire! Oh, there was another song that came to my mind. I have an idea. Yeah, there we go. That's the good stuff. Are all the ducks different horror references? The one looks like the ring? Does it? Here, let me put this away because the commercial break is over. Okay. Oh, it does. Oh, is it? Oh my God, that's Jason. Fragile. It's the head. Spider-Man. Pointing a gun at a mirror. I don't know what reference this is. Red duck with the cigarette. Yellow duck with red eyes. I don't know about some of these. Listen, this is the kind of if I was doing a job like this is the kind of music I would be listening to on like a Walkman. It would definitely be on like a Walkman. I don't think they're definitely not all like horror references. This one's Sadako, but the others definitely aren't. Because that red one hanging upside down is definitely the Spider-Man kissing Mary Jane while hanging upside down. Bitter on the front porch. All right. Come on. Get clean, get clean, get clean. God, guys, y'all didn't even have the common courtesy to get your arterial splatters on closer to the ground. How could you? Oh my god, I did not get like fucking anything. Oh, I kind of want to finish cleaning this away. Oh, this counts as a north exhibit? Shit. Sorry, buddy, I'm cleaning around you first. That's more important. Before I take your other sword.
Sword or katana. Let's call it a draw.
All right, let's go, bud. We'll come back to get that chair. Chat, don't let me forget that red chair. Intro song on repeat. Oh, no. Absolute... What? What does he look like compared to, like, what Absolute Batman looks like? He's got to be terrifying, right? He's got to be just...
Sayonara, brave samurai.
Absolutely rancid, right? Put a picture in media share. I want to see it. Oh, shit. Don't break, don't break, don't break. Okay, that's fine. Duck. Duck. Okay. Red chair. Okay. We'll put you there. Fuck it. Yeah. Not gonna make that. It's like the 16th time I've tried to make that jump and it never works. Oh, damn it. Woo! I've got too much motion. Okay. So we're missing one chair there, and then the one chair that's like down here. This one. Okay. Let's work on this section next. So let's go clean our bucket. I'm just double checking this room. Actually still pretty clean, so I think we're gonna just go ahead and take it. Okay. God, the fucking splatter on some of these. Okay. There's Goose? What do you mean there's Goose? How is Goose? Why Goose? What Goose? Oh, the big ducks on the wall. Is that the ones you were talking about? The ones that were white? The big white ducks on the wall? You know what? This room's not that big. Okay, this is part of... Oh, no, this is North Exhibit. Oh, hi, Nefertiti. We were looking for you. All right, come here. I'm just kind of imagining that they, like, took all of these. Link.
Now the Pharaoh's
Okay.
curse won't reach me.
Get all this before we... Oh, come on, guys. cereal. A toy gun.
It's been a terrible joke.
Oh my god, all her mops are already dirty as shit. Okay. Let's get some of these other things then. Clean you up, pick you up. Put you back. Ugh, okay.
I can't put it back like that.
Oh, come on. Oh, for Pete's sake. Fine. We're cleaning the floor with sponges again. Man, I think it was a really good idea to upgrade like all of the main tools first. Although I honestly don't know how many more missions there are after this one. Nope, hi. Excuse me, pardon me. Coming through. A single handprint. A single handprint keeping me from being able to move some of these things.
One hell of an unlucky guy.
All right, there's still... Oh, okay. Let's go put her away. And then there's still 2 more bodies in places. Serial killer. Oh my god. The thing is full. There's no way that those other things are fitting in. Okay, we're still missing... Aren't we? Yeah, we're still missing a painting there. Let's go back over here. Don't knock over the bucket, please. Wow, we actually did not do very good with our fucking... what do you call it? Collect evidence. Here, chat. Money. Okay. Excuse me.
The chances of getting killed by a dinosaur are low, but never zero.
That sounds like something Ordain would say. Do we need another B-52 song? I feel like we need another B-52 song. Oh my god. Is that gonna count? Nope. There we go. Okay, so we're only missing 1 more body, apparently. But... Alright, let's clean this. Excuse me. Other one. Okay. Put you up. And let's get all this fucking floor area. Get clean, get clean, get clean, get clean. Ugh. I feel like I need to figure out some way to get, like, better upgrades, because I feel like I go through the mops so fast. Oh my god. A rock. Okay. It's that y'all can't see like the indicator icon for my instruments because it's literally just barely behind the chat window. But right now I'm just gonna clean the floor with sponges until everything's absolutely fucking filthy. It almost feels weird though that like the sponges last like cover more surface area than like than the mops, which is like weird. Oh, you're not in the right place.
Won't move like this.
You're not clean. Oh, it's because I was standing in the way. I was gonna say, I could have swore I saw that thing shimmer. Also, there's that landscape painting that we needed. What did Beef say? Wait, this is a real song? I thought it was just family. No, it was a real song by the B-52s. How dare you question the B-52s? There it is.
Don't think about falling again.
Okay. Okay. Let's get our shit cleaned again. Luckily, this room next to me. There we go. Filthy. Filthy! This thing had a... There it is. I was gonna say it had a water spigot. I know it did. Don't forget to water plants and yourself. Hold on. Clean sponges. Clean sponges. Then do this. One of the best things to come out of Athens. It came out of... They're from Athens, Georgia. I did not know that. Spotify. There it is. What's another classic band? Dare we Karma Chameleon, chat? Dare we Karma Chameleon? I don't know about B-52s. Except for Vietnam? Oh, the plane. Duh. You. Okay, these are... The sponges aren't covered, but we'll get the sponges. There we go. Let's go. Actually, you can stay here. We're gonna go here. Get the rest of this hallway. We're at like 95%. 97. Okay, so this is like the last bit. There we go. Give me the money. Oh, hello. Oh boy. All right. Is that supposed to be a dolphin? Just to say, I forgot about the most annoying sound ever made in a 70s music video. Why is the blood that the Roomba was spreading so fucking thick? Jesus, I've already gone through both mops. I guess that's why it's like the turquoise color, is because it is like thick blood. Okay, hold on. This is a very dark room. I kind of want... Thanks. I'm just gonna... Yeah, we're gonna go from one weird song to the other. It's good. I had forgotten the end part of that song where they're like saying random sea creatures and then just making the most random noises imaginable. Oh, there's the red chair we needed. All right. Excuse me, sir. Excuse me. Pardon me. shields. Oh, and there's the other bone that we need. All right, give me the shield.
Best defense is a good offense.
All right, we'll clean this up until both the mops are too dirty. And then we'll take some of the items. Oh, whoops. I can't imagine what this was supposed to be, considering it seems like the whole maze
Dumb exhibition.
is glass and not like mirrors. You know what? We're just gonna bring him right now. Come on, bud. Can I pick up? I cannot pick up the thingamadoohickey either. All right, we'll take you instead. That shield is mine? No, it's not. It was used as a murder weapon. I have to hide it, Ordain. You didn't clean up after yourself, Ordain. Okay, that's our last body. Now we're just on cleanup. Take the toe.
Dinosaur went on a killing spree.
Is this the toe or is this? Oh, it's right there. It's the dew claw. Okay. Central area done. And let's grab the chair. You. Was this the last one for that room, or are we still missing one more chair? Anybody remember?
Modern art is truly something else.
Okay, yeah, we're still there. We're missing another red chair. Oh, because it's sitting right fucking here. Damn it. Damn it. Hup. Hup. Nice. Okay. Back in here. Oh, all tasks complete. Okay, hold on. Because I want to go see... Hello.
More war
Money, money, money. A frying pan. Toaster. Oh.
What is that even for?
There's a door there. Or is the toaster the clue? That was Karma Chameleon. If you were asking what the song that was currently playing was. On the seal. Oh. Oh, okay. So gray, green, blue, gray, orange, pink. Gray, green. Or so, yeah, gray, green, blue, gray. Let's do that first. Gray, green. That's blue already. Gray. And then was this orange, pink? Or did I have it backwards? Damn it. Go back. Green on top, gray on the bottom. Duh. I immediately had them like flipped in my head.
I'm in.
Oh, katana. Motherfucker, dude. Motherfucker, destroy all your enemies is incredible. Not the mannequins being my enemies. Hold on, do I have... I have a katana now. Okay. I knew something was fucky with those mannequins. I knew something was fucky with those mannequins. Oh, hi. Economy of Pain? New story item. Oh no, I can't close the door now. My computer just made a noise. All right, real quick. We need to go check all the other exhibits because I want to make sure we've finished everything. All tasks, all tasks. All tasks. This is still going to count as like, yeah, central exhibit. Done in here. Done up here. Okay. I think we're good. I think we 100%ed the largest map thus far. Okay. Listen, we don't have to pick up the trash. There's other people for that. Yes. Serves them right. Perfect, baby. Took almost 2 hours. Jesus. Okay. Continue. Yeah. 15 points. Complete the Modern Art Museum. Steal $50,000. Nice. Okay. Let's get some upgrades, baby. Already got everything here. Bag capacity. Proof bucket, allow 3. Let's get you there. Cleaning strength on all surfaces by 20%. Okay, we'll apply that one at least. Unlimited capacity, that sounds pretty useful, but... You know what? Let's get some of these. Increased strength, increased radius. Foam cannon? Use detergents. Oh, ooh. Strength over time. We'll do that. Apply that. You know what? Let's get these. And then... Thing is, I don't feel like I need additional ones of these things. Increase quality. Fuck it. Okay. Wait, where's Dexter? Dexter! Dexter, my boy! My boy.
Who's a good boy?
Dexter.
Not me, that's for sure.
And the door's open again! Why is the door always open? Excuse me. Hello? I hate that chair. That looks like an uncomfortable chair to be using at a desk. Good night. Oh, uh-oh. Big Jim's warehouse? What?
I've been working so hard for this moment. And now, everything is finally ready. You really thought you could get away with killing my daughter? No, no, no. It's time you learned your lesson.
Boys, let's get this party started.
I saw that rendering. I saw that rendering. Also, is that a book on the fucking
Dexter, working in such a despicable profession.
on the fucking like Applegate
How can I even put a stop to this?
gate? Open your mind. Oh no. Where is it? There it is.
It's Jim. Some lazy workers tried to screw me over, so now they are dead. I have no intention of dealing with that shit again. Do you know how hard it is to find loyal employees nowadays? So how's it gonna be, Kowalski? Are you more loyal than the guys whose corpses you'll be collecting?
And we took the toaster.
So, check your email for details.
Each one of your tasks makes me more of a corpse, Jim.
Really? I think we're doing a great. We gave it a party hat. Wait a second. Oh, I can't open my, These are the final weeks. Doctors told me that these are the final weeks of my treatment. I'm excited, but also nervous. I know it's not over yet, but I can see the finish line. I'm trying to stay positive, take it one day at a time. Can't wait to be home with you, and I know Dexter's probably waiting for me too. 13. Fuck. Okay then. That is going to take way too long in the massive warehouse chat. So we're gonna save that for Wednesday. We'll do that Wednesday. We'll get back to Resident Evil 1 after we finish this game. Until after it is completely done. Let me go back to... There we go. There we go. All right. Let's go back to the playlist, actually. All right, guys. We need to figure out who the hell we're going to raid. So, who is live? Adora came back today. Hell yeah. Fairbanks. Stream with new something? Hold on. Hold on. New CPU. Okay. Who do we have here? Why the fuck is Nanolist so high on my fucking... You should watch this person. Is there really no one else? Oh, I thought that was Anna. No, that's Vampy. You know what? We're gonna raid Void Taffy. Void Taffy apparently has a new model. Void Taffy. What is it, Ordain? What is it? What's the deal? What's the gun for? Okay, you know what? Yeah, we'll take that.
Their jacket.
We'll take that.
Yeah, what is that?
We'll take that. That's going to be the raid message. Clean your room. Clean your room. I'll be back tomorrow, guys. Noon CDT. We're going to be yapping away. It's probably going to be food-related stuff. I know they released another video from the Afghanistan channel that we were watching. So we may watch their newest episode because the thumbnail's kind of interesting. Something about eating at a restaurant for millionaires. Oh my God, not the fucking knob. God, I forgot that was one of the words. All right, guys. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being awesome. Thank you for making the stream awesome. I will see you tomorrow, noon CDT. I almost said CST. CDT. I told him though, have a good night. Don't burn anything down. Don't be like Ordain. Be a better person. And don't steal my knives.